Rumor has it that he is such a humble man that while his official title is still a captain, he wants everybody to address him as lieutenant, and that he has been spotted at the bar grabbing a pint with Leandros after work. All we know, he's called Lieutenant Titus. If you're new to the channel, welcome on in. I believe that you'll find it very hospitable over here, and welcome back, members of the chapter. This is Screws and Studs, and the releases keep coming, which is an awesome thing. We've seen the release of Sanguinius, and then we will now take a look at another very highly anticipated action figure, which is Lieutenant Titus, as well as the rest of his squad, in which I will review later on. In this one, we will specifically be looking at Titus only and comparing the action figure version to the video game version to see if JoyToy did a good job in the translation. So now, let's jump into the review. Allow me to interrupt, myself, to bring you this very special message. I wanted to talk to you about where you should get all these lovely Warhammer 40K as well as Horus Heresy action figures. And the only place that you should get it at is at David Toys. Just click on the link in the description below where you will be brought to their website. I have been using David Toys pretty much exclusively over the past 2 to 3 years, and I have experienced a flawless interaction with them. They have fantastic customer service and will try to replace broken, if not defective parts at the best of their ability. They have fast and free shipping and sometimes can get these action figures to your doorstep in 4 days. And before you check out, please do not forget to use the code SNS to receive 12% off of your purchase. And with that being said, I've taken enough of your time. Now, let's get back to Titus's review. I have some mixed feelings right now about this action figure, and I say this as a reviewer and not so much a person who just collects and enjoys his hobby. The reason why I say this is as follows. When you pick up Titus, he feels lighter than the stern guard that has come out before him. The chest region seems a bit hollow compared to the solid plastic pieces you would find on said stern guard. When you do this to the stern guard, it seems a little bit more solid. I know that some of you have Bandai Space Marines in your collection, and I get that same lack of heft and lightness that are found on those figures on this Titus right here. However, feelings is not a science, so we will put this to the test by weighing Titus. Putting Titus on the scale, you can see he's 131 grams. And the Stern Guard veteran, surprisingly, is also 131 grams, while this version 2 Lieutenant sits at 119. Obviously, through the test of science, Titus and the Stern Guard veteran weighs the exact same. Looking at the bare head of Titus, it appears that JoyToy did a pretty decent job of translating the video game face to real life. This is because you can see the characteristic 4 gold studs on his forehead and this manly coif of hair. The scar that is running from the top of his head to his forehead area, as well as the one that's on his nose, is very accurate as well. Unfortunately for my particular Titus, he looks a bit derpy because while the left eye is screened on nicely, the right one looks like it is wandering off into deep space. With regard to the helmet, JoyToy did a great job of turning the video game version into real life again. Perhaps the biggest thing on this helmet is the seemingly dull red lenses. In fact, they are completely transparent compared to the other red metallic lenses on other figures. I would have to say that the detailing on the helmet is great with the well-defined ear area as well as the black pipes, though for some odd reason the vents right here are still not shaded. I will have to say that the pauldrons are quite good looking because of the studded gold embroidery that run along the edges of both. The laureled-like bottom area is also a nice touch, although I think that in between the leaves needs a little bit of shading. This left one has a simple Ultramarines U that is screened on, while the right one is where all the spice is at. There is a highly modified lieutenant symbol with a white skull in the middle that has a full red halo or a blazing sun that's around it. But for some odd reason, it seems like this particular skull does not have any teeth. It needs to have more definition in this area. Aside from that, there is a banner with an Ultra that is engraved on it, which is great for added detailing. And now to confirm the rumors, Titus is definitely a version 3, but people are saying that this is a version 4 figure. You can tell because the pauldron area looks like this. It is essentially a miniature version of the version 3 Terminator pauldrons that were first discovered on the Dark Angels Terminators that came out roughly a year ago. Finally, I think that the ring of chains that are wrapped around Titus's right forearm look great because they look exactly like the video game version. Now let's talk about this chest area. The prominent symbol that dominates this area is obviously an Ultramarines U with a skull nestled inside of it. And then flanking the U are golden wings, but as I have stated before, the gold areas really need shading to augment the 3D detailing of the wings. Without the shading, this area just looks too flat to me. The waist area is one of those places, it's the most decorated part on a Space Marine, and Titus's waist does not depart from that norm that has been established. JoyToy did a fantastic job of what you see on the video game to this action figure, with this brown pouch to the right hand side, a crown skull for that belt buckle, and then a box containing a fellow Space Marine bones on the left-hand side. I really like this tabard because it's an entirely different look with a very tattered weathered cloth that has a bunch of shading on it. The back area has also faithfully been duplicated with the varying size pouches, as well as this tattered loincloth again. While the legs are a mirror image from the video game, they still look bland in my opinion. The right leg is completely unadorned, but at least it has an inverse colored Ultramarines U on the knee area. The left one has just a little bit more spice by the way of this purity seal, as well as this laureled golden skull. There is some slight shading in the laureled area, but I wish it was more strong, more bold. Now let's move on to the back area. It is actually mostly devoid of decorations, minus the ones that I have pointed out to you in the waist area. However, on closer inspection in the backpack area, you will notice some subtle changes. These vents that are on top of the backpack have a grooved texture and is obviously black. This is definitely not found on recent 40K Space Marine backpacks, as you can see on my right hand. Finally, the golden skull with the U mirrors that of Titus's chest symbol, minus the wings. What sets this action figure apart from pretty much all of the others is the sheer amount of customization that you can have with it. For example, you can swap out this backpack with this jump pack right here. You can change Titus's loadout from this assault configuration with the chainsword and the bolt pistol to a more longer range version with this auto bolt rifle. Speaking of this auto bolt rifle, it is a fantastic representation of what a bolt rifle should look like in terms of color palette. The black, gunmetal, gold are evenly interspersed, creating an awesome balance of colors. There's also this soft plastic loop that allows Titus to shoulder his weapon. Moving on to the assault configuration, the chainsword looks absolutely brilliant again, with the perfect usage of colors. Every region on this preferred weapon of war has its own individual color. There really isn't too much to say about this bolt pistol here, but that is a good thing because it looks exactly the way it should. And then to reflect the accuracy of the assault versus the ranged version, you can opt to outfit Titus with an unholstered or a holstered bolt pistol, respectively. With regards to the jump packs, we have seen this on the recently released Ultramarines, as well as Blood Angel's Jump Pack Assault Intercessors. They feature these grav chute flaps that are on top, as well as jump pack engines that have this red metallic glow that indicate that the engines are on. While we are on the topic of jump pack configurations, you can take this calf portion of Titus off and outfit him with these jump pack calves that have vents on the back. However, what I find interesting is the exclusion of a jump pack stand. I really think that the set should have come with one, but perhaps JoyToy already went above and beyond with these extra customizations that they purposefully left out this needed accessory. Now, with regards to the movement, there's really nothing much to talk about here because Titus is young, spry, and limber in that he has absolutely no restriction of movement whatsoever. I will point out to you the pauldrons sit where they're supposed to sit because of this new configuration. They don't have this flappy soft plastic thing that moves whenever you kind of shake around the Space Marine. Titus's stays rock solid in place just like him. Now let's talk about swapping out the various accessories on Titus. So we are going to remove the backpack and then outfit him with the jump pack, and it's very easy to do. And then obviously with the jump pack configuration, you want to swap out his calves, and you would just remove the calf portion like this, and this is what the calf portion looks like without the armor covering on it. And it is as simple as swapping this area in. The helmet area is a little bit special in that you can actually take this top cover off, and here is the helmet that has been separated, and you will notice that the lenses are actually translucent plastic. Many people have went ahead and put a small LED light here to give these lenses a nice red glow. I currently do not have this modification, but I'll be honest with you, this look is really badass. Now let's talk about Titus's size compared to the rest of his already released brethren. Now you can tell Titus is about a half a head to about roughly a head taller than the Sternguard veteran, and this version 2 lieutenant is absolutely diminutive compared to actually both of these action figures, with the helmet lenses coming to Titus's mid-chest area. Now many of you may want to see Titus next to the chapter master, and here's Marnius Calgar. And unfortunately, Titus is actually taller than Calgar, or it seems like it should be the other way around, and Calgar should be taller than him. So JoyToy may need to retool Calgar in the future. Alright, thank you for joining me in the in-depth review. Now please come with me to the wrap-up. Alright, action figure fans, please let me know what you thought of JoyToy's version of Titus in the comment section below, because I'm really interested to see what you have to say about this one. Now, what do I have to say about this action figure? Well, he's one of those action figures that I believe is a must-buy. There's so many great improvements on this action figure that I absolutely love. It's fantastic that you have the option of opening up the helmet and then putting an LED light in it. And then the pauldrons are absolutely fantastic. Now, there's nothing that I can say about them except they are mwah, chef's kiss brilliant. And finally, with regards to the customization, I do not believe that any other figure has this level compared to Titus. So anyways, members of the chapter, thank you so much for joining me in this action figure review. And like I said, for you new people to this channel, hit that subscribe button for me, and I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. Now, with the release of Titus in the squad, we still have a ton of things to discuss. The next video that will be released will be the rest of his squad, which is Gadriel as well as Chiron. And then we are going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of the McFarlane Titus versus the JoyToy Titus. And finally, we are going to be taking a look at all 4 versions of JoyToy action figures and put them side by side and see exactly what makes them different from each other. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one.